How to Find Your Creativity. I know that it's a very broad title, and I know that this video is going to seem like, the 7 steps to success, right? Like it's going to be some foolproof guide that if you just do this, this, and this in this particular order, it's going to work out for you and everything's going to be great, right? Well, this is just what's worked out for me. I'm not going to be like some pitchman and say that absolutely 100% satisfaction guaranteed and that this is going to work out for you, because truthfully, everyone's different. Every single person is unique. Everyone works differently. People work under different sets and circumstances better than others. This is just what works best for me. And maybe a few of these things will work out for you. Some of them might not. Maybe all of them will. Just have an open ear, an open mind, and we'll go from there. In my opinion, though, when it comes down to creativity, I think everyone likes to first and foremost associate it just with the arts, right? Well, if you're creative, you're just, you're an artist, right? You're drawing, you're painting, maybe you're making some music or making a video, right? That's all that creativity is really necessary for. Everything else is just being practical, right? Well, I would disagree. I think that letting your imagination just kind of run wild in any circumstance, even if it's simply for fun, one of the most important things you can do. I think creativity can be a way of expressing your own feelings instead of letting them being pent up inside you, which I truthfully don't believe is a good thing. Creativity, though, has a very important role when it comes down to the workplace, in practical situations, of course in the educational field in school, and also in our own personal endeavors. Some people obviously even try and do art, music, video making, try and do YouTube, anything for a living. All of that requires creativity. And at one time or another, we hit a wall. We hit a roadblock. We feel like we're running out of material, running out of ideas, running out of patience, all of the above. And we're kind of smacking our heads and we're thinking, I wish I could just get something, anything down, and just something to motivate me, something I can build off of, something that I can work on. But there's nothing. I'm just drawing a blank. That's what I was kind of doing this afternoon. I like doing food reviews. I like reviewing these products. But there I was sitting there and I was thinking, God, there's nothing good out. I have no idea what I'm going to review. And I was struggling for an idea. And I decided to take that idea, or lack thereof, and incorporate that into a video all of its own. First things first, when it comes down to finding your creativity, the most important thing is to think about what you enjoy doing, what your passion is. What are your interests? What motivates you? Everyone has them. If you say that you don't have any interest whatsoever, you do. It might not be very apparent, but if you just, you might say, I don't know what interests me. I like listening to a little music. Well, there's something. I like watching a certain movie. Well, that's something else right there. I like playing Fortnite. That's a reference for all you. You could see how hip I am right now. It could be anything. Think about what you enjoy doing, what your interests are, what you're passionate about. That can play a huge role in terms of motivating whatever it is that you wish to do. If you can find a way to connect what you're passionate about to your creative interests, right there is going to be a constant source of material for something that you can always build off of, because it's something that you're excited about, something you're passionate about, and something that's essentially going to fuel itself. For instance, with me, shortwave radio. I know that's not something that's very popular by many people, yet I could incorporate certain aspects of shortwave radio, say into some of the stories that I write. I'm able to do a weekly radio show on shortwave. I'm able to incorporate this broadcast medium that I'm very interested and passionate about into my own craft, and as a result, that's a way of kind of adding some fuel to it, kind of fueling that creative drive right there. Another thing that you can do that I would recommend is to look at current events. You might say, well, where is that? What significance does that hold? Oh, there come the bugs coming out at night. Here's where current events come to play. You're lost. You don't have any material. You don't have any idea what to do. You're hitting the wall. Go ahead. Open up the tab. Take a look at the news. See what's going on in the world. Look at the trending page on YouTube. See what's popular right now. See what people are talking about. And sometimes these events can give us certain ideas that we can therefore build off of, or that could influence us in one way or another, creatively. That's not a word, but you know what I mean. Speaking. A lot of the time what I'll do sometimes is when I'm not really, when I'm kind of lost in terms of things to review, what do? I'll sometimes open up the news. I'll check out the major websites for these fast food chains. Sometimes I'll just check out Google News. For instance, when I was looking for ideas, I checked the news. I saw that there were all these articles about IHOB and their glorious burgers. There is an idea right there. I check the websites for these major fast food establishments. I'll see that they have a new release out. And there's my idea to work on right there. Sometimes just checking the news, seeing what people are talking about, will give you ideas right in front of you, right in front of your face. Another thing that I think a lot of people kind of underestimate, if you're lost, if you don't have an idea of what you should do, there is no shame and no harm in asking your audience, if you have one, or your friends, or your family, well, you have any ideas? There's no harm in that whatsoever. Some people, they almost take offense to that. They think that that's stooping down low for some reason. That, well, if I ask my audience about ideas, they're going to see how weak I am and that I don't have any ideas in my own head. Nonsense. That's such a line of bull. Don't even consider that. There is no harm. If you don't have any ideas what to do, let's say you make art and you have a couple followers, shoot them a question. Say, hey, listen, do you have any ideas of something I can draw next? You write? You do short stories? Go ahead, ask a few of your readers. Any ideas? Anything you'd like to see me write about? You might not always agree with what their feedback might be. You might think it's bad feedback. But at the same time, these are ideas that are being thrown your way, something that you should definitely consider. And if you don't have an audience, you don't have any friends or family that are willing to help you, there's online communities that will certainly be willing to do so as well. Many social media sites, many websites, forums, right? That's old school. Will be happily willing to help you out. There is no harm in asking a simple question, none whatsoever. And if you still feel on the edge about that, ask yourself this: what can go wrong? Either A, I'm going to get some good ideas that I'll be able to employ going forward. B, I'll get some ideas that I'm not really a fan of, but at least I got some ideas. Or C, nothing will happen, and I won't be any better off or worse off than I was in the first place. Another thing that's important, let's say that you're still kind of struggling and you don't really have any ideas or creativity, or you're kind of just lost. You're hitting that wall. You're hitting that metaphorical writer's block. Well, one thing that you can do is just start listing down your thoughts. Just write down a list on a piece of paper, on your phone, on your computer, anywhere, any place. Just start listing down random thoughts. That's exactly what I did for this video right here. Just listed them down, bullet points, one after the other. Might not really be totally coherent. Might just be random thoughts and random tidbits and bits of information. But just list them down. Whatever's in your head, get it down onto paper, and again, before you know it, something might emerge that you'll be able to work with. It'll be there before you know it. Sometimes just organizing things, and instead of just thinking through it, being able to see it with your own two eyes makes a huge difference. One other important thing, of course, that I think a lot of us struggle with, don't be afraid of failure. I think a lot of us, one thing that really kind of stops us when it comes down to creativity and ideas to work with. We're afraid that it's not going to work out. We all strive for success. It's human nature. It's a human trait. I always, of course, hope that if I do a video, it performs all right. That's what I always hope for. Whether we all like it or not, I think we all kind of hope that whatever endeavor it is which we wish to pursue will work out well. That people will enjoy it, that it might get a few likes, a few followers, might get a good grade, might perform well in the workplace, whatever it is, we all strive for success. But one thing that we cannot be afraid of is failure as well. It's a fact of life. It's how things are. There are going to be times where we had hoped so much that something was going to float, and instead it sinks. Not everything's going to work out the way that we wanted it to. We might put in a lot of work, a lot of elbow grease, as they say, and it might fail. And you know what? That's okay. Don't be afraid of failure, because that fear of failure, that fear of underperforming or something not going the way that you wanted it to go, that'll oftentimes get the best of us. It'll absorb us. It'll consume us. It'll dominate our minds. And at that exact time, it'll very likely degrade the quality of whatever it is we are trying to do. Don't be afraid of failure. Just go ahead and do it and let the results speak for themselves. Not everything is going to work out, but you'll be surprised sometimes. I guess this is number 7 on the list, but I really don't know what bullet point this is. But on a penultimate note, one other thing that works out best for me, and this is a very specific thing, and I don't know if it'll work for you. Utilize spontaneity. The thing that works best for me is being spontaneous. If you believe it or not, most of my videos I really don't plan at all in advance. I get an idea and I immediately run with it. The last video I did, the IHOB fiasco, I knew I wanted to review it, but how I was going to do it, I didn't know. Originally I was thinking, it's just going to be another car review. It's going to be standard, just, get the sign in the background and do a review of it. But literally, within the span of 20 minutes, I decided, you know what? I'm going to try and do something different today. I just suddenly got this idea where I just wanted to make it more of like a collage of various clips and just be sarcastic about it all. Instead of planning it out, I decided to run with it. Just completely ad-lib it. Just film it. Let it go. Film anything. And see where it takes us. If you have an idea that just comes to you spontaneously, sometimes take advantage of it. Because otherwise, I know what happens with me sometimes. When I get an idea and I don't take advantage of it right away, sometimes it'll just slip. It'll fall out of my grasp. And that motivation that I previously had to employ that idea just won't be there even a few hours or a day or two later. Utilize that spontaneity if you can. If you can. There are times, practically speaking, where we just won't be able to. Something's going on, we've got something that we just can't do it. And that's understandable, that's just how life is. But if you get an idea, utilize that spontaneity as best you can and run with it. And it'll sometimes take you to places you never even imagined otherwise. And on a final note, don't be afraid to take a break. A lot of the times, one of the things that I do for fun is writing. It's not something that I do for any money. It's something that I enjoy doing for fun, for pleasure. I like to write short stories. I like to write a few short stories here and there, pieces of fiction, the occasional poem. Nothing too incredible. I'm not trying to be the next J.K. Rowling or anything, but I enjoy writing a few short stories. And there was one story that I was working on. It's called The Regression of Life. And it wasn't the happiest story in the world, but I was trying to make something of it. And I got it to around 40, 50 pages. And I hit a wall. I hit the famous writer's block. I was rereading it. I was looking at it over and over again. I was editing what I had, but there was just no new material that was coming my way. And I was frustrated. I was thinking, damn, can you just think of something that you can write? Something that you can put down on that paper? Something that you can add to this story? And I kept forcing it. I kept trying to think anything. Just write something down. Get some sort of idea going. But when I was forcing it, no ideas. And any ideas that were coming when I was trying to force it, they weren't any good ones. Wasn't anything that contributed to the quality of the story. Sometimes, when all else fails, we can afford to do it. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to let your mind just get a rest, recharge that battery, so to speak, and pick that pen up again when you're ready to do so. Nothing wrong with taking a break. Sometimes one of the most effective solutions when you're faced with one of those conundrums when it comes down to creativity or lack thereof. Just give your mind a break. Move on to another project. Move on to something else. Don't throw it away, but sideline it for a bit. And it might take a while. It might take a couple days, weeks, months, or even a year. But you never know. That idea might just finally swirl back around after a break. You could restart it better. You could restart it, get back into things better than ever before. Just recently, for instance, I took a break from writing for a good long year. Just a few days ago, suddenly that motivation just came back to me out of the blue. All of a sudden, I just started writing another short story, and I've already got 20 pages under the belt, which I did in a few days, because that creative drive, after a year break, just swirled around and came back to me. How to find your creativity. That's a few tips, some honest discussion about the problems that I face almost on a daily basis, and some of the things I do to combat those problems. Hope you enjoyed the video, ladies and gentlemen. On a final note, promotion as always, coming up tomorrow, my VORW radio show. Tune in if you like. SoundCloud.com/VORW_radio_INT. Link in the description, pinned comments, and cards. Hope you could tune in and catch the show. That's all that I have. Thank you for watching. Take care. I'm your host, the Report of the Week.